When was the last time you lost a deal, even though your solution was clearly better? It will not be because of price, not because of competition, but because the conversation never really went where it needed to go. Today I want to show you why questions, not answers, are the real power move in sales. And I want to share a personal experience that might feel uncomfortably familiar. Most sales conversations fail for one simple reason. We talk at customers instead of thinking with them. Great questions do 5 things. They show genuine interest. They manage the conversation without controlling it. They help the customer find their own answers. And they check understanding. And most importantly, they encourage deeper thinking. And deeper thinking is where decisions actually get made. But here's the thing, not all questions are equal. I remember I was coaching a senior account manager, smart, experienced, technically brilliant. It was a big strategic meeting, multiple stakeholders, a high value opportunity. Yet within the first 10 minutes, I could already feel it slipping. Every time the customer said something interesting, he jumped in with an answer. Yeah, we can do that. We've seen that before. What you need is... The room went quiet. You could feel the energy drop like a stone. Afterwards, I asked him, so how do you think that went? He said, they didn't seem convinced. The truth, they never were invited to think. One of the most powerful lessons I learned early in my sales career is this: you learn nothing when you're talking. And that's why we have 2 ears and 1 mouth. Open prompts designed to uncover assumptions, deepen understanding and guide thinking. Questions like what, how, when, where, who. But do you notice what's missing? Why? Yes, you got it. Why often feels like an interrogation. It forces people to justify themselves and it triggers defense. Compare this. Why did you do that? Versus what led you to that decision. Same curiosity, completely different impact. There are 2 types of questions that we ask. Critical questions that organize and decide. Will you? Can you? When will this happen? And there are creative questions that open possibilities. How could we? What might we do? What if? The mistake is we use critical language in creative moments, and that shuts down ideas before they've even had a chance to form. Think about it like this. Will I go home tonight? Well, that's closed, binary. It's either a yes or a no. And thinking stops. How will I go home tonight? Well, now you're organising your options. Do I take the bus? Do I take the car? Or do I fly? But how might I go home tonight? Well, that one engages your imagination and suddenly you're creating. Sales works exactly the same way. TED questions for clarity. Tell me more. Explain how that works. Describe what that looks like. These slow the conversation down, but they deepen it at the same time. Proposing questions to test interest. Just a thought. What if we could? I wonder, if we were able to do X, how might that help? They're soft, non-confrontational, and incredibly powerful. Here's the real shift. The best sellers don't convince customers. They create the conditions where customers convince themselves. And questions are how you do that. So the next time you're in a sales conversation, resist the urge to answer. Ask instead. If you found this useful, hit like, subscribe, and share it with someone who talks a little too much in sales meetings. And check out our video on buyer types. It will give your questions real context. Okay, before you go, here's your challenge. In your next sales call, remove one answer and replace it with a question. You might be surprised what happens.